Yes, good morning and welcome to this second segment of the program AM Cafe today. Today is the 15th day in the month. We are now left with just 10 days before a lot of problems because we must be frank with ourselves. In the last 25 days, what we witness in our country is something that baffles some of us. The question is, how do we survive all this in the face of coming elections? The fuel problem, the Naira redesign issue, and the election itself. 240 words. The INEC has declared that there won't be elections in those words, or those polling units. Now, the question is, if we take 240 off, are we still going to have the election later, or they're not going to participate at all? Because the INEC was saying that nobody signified to vote there, or there were no registration in that area. So these are some of the issues we'll be looking at this morning. And we have somebody in the studio who is an analyst. He's a comrade. He has always been a friend in the house here. Comrade Sakawahi, it's a pleasure welcoming you to the studio today.
Good morning, sir. It's always good.
How was your Valentine Day yesterday?
It's a day of love. You know, some of us celebrate Valentine every day.
So, okay, we celebrate Valentine every day. Somebody was saying, how are you going to do it? I said, I'll do it the way I do it yesterday. Because it's an everyday matter. We must love one another.
We must
if I have the time, I saw something, a script written by our bishop, Bishop Badejo, about Valentine. It's a message full to tell Nigerians and all over the world that we need to love one another. So today, sir, as a man out there watching us, you're welcome to the program. Yes, let's start with fuel crisis, because my mother will say, Baroko Aldeko. The man standing behind the camera there lives in Oshobo Relay. But I know him. He will never vote here in Oshobo. He will go to Obaba. The man talking to you will definitely go to Yakuyo.
I myself, I will go to Ikero.
Can you see now? Because if I say I move my registration to Oshobo, that shows I'll be voting for some people who are not going to influence my world.
Yes.
Do you understand, sir?
I know.
So, local election, state elections, and national elections like this, I will dash home. And I will be the first five to cast my ballot, and I will come report for duty here. So that's how I've been doing it in the recent years. So if I must go home to go and cast my vote, and there's no fuel, so that shows my vote will not count, because there won't be any vote for me.
First time, the issue of fuel scarcity it's not just election related.
It's not just election related.
It's not just election related. It's like the blood that is running our economy.
Okay.
Fuel.
The blood that runs our economy is the fuel itself.
Yes. So the scarcity of it will have a snowball effect to all our major activities and even minor ones.
Okay.
So when that thing came up, you know, there are ways that we look at things on the face value.
Okay.
And the other way is to do devil's advocate and look at, okay, what is the underlying factors responsible for this scarcity. First, on the face value, the Buhari administration promised Nigeria
in 2014
that they will build refineries, not one.
No refurbishing.
We
building a new one.
New refineries. In fact, across all the regions of the country. But 7.5 down the line, they built none. So, whether we like it or not, we always have the problem of scarcity. Once marketers choose to want to enrich themselves, they will just do artificial scarcity, and everybody will go to panic buying, and that is the beginning of a major crisis. On the devil's advocate part, the week that scarcity started was the week Dangote announced his opening
of his own refinery.
And from the civil society point of view, we are looking at, okay, and they want to set a template for the way Dangote want to sell
his product.
So we started buying fuel, 300, 350. It went as far as 400.
400.
That's the most unfortunate thing to happen to Nigeria. And at that same critical time, somebody somewhere slept on the wrong side of the bed and woke
up on the wrong side.
On the wrong side to say we are redesigning
Naira.
Fine. We questioned it from the start. And this is a policy that will not fare well with the people. I personally questioned Buhari that, okay, why is always Buhari to change our currency?
He did this in 1984.
1984 he did it, and now he's doing it in 2020. And the question is, what has been the effect or the advantage of changing it in 1984 that will allow us to even change it in 2023 again? We raised many questions, but we got no answer.
If I tell you what I passed through, 1984-85, it was a ham. All that I had left with me then was gari, palm oil, and salt. And that was what I took for almost 10-11 days.
Okay.
Yeah. When you don't eat, it's not that I'm fasting. But it's either I soak gari or I will eat gari mixed with salt and palm oil.
So at the moment, and let me emphasize this, that even under Abacha, we never had the combination of fuel scarcity and scarcity of Naira. Under Abacha. So if anybody is telling us that this will bring a long-term benefit to the populace, I put it to them that there is no policy anywhere that brings so much pains to the people
than
on a short term that will ever bring a long-term good tidings. It's never happened.
There is no policy of government.
Yes, that brings so much pain in short term that will not bring good tidings in the long term. It's never going to happen. So this policy is dead on arrival. And the other area of it that people are looking at is the political. You know, politics decide our fate.
Politics decide our fate, but there is this move worldwide. The economy should run digital. Is Nigeria going to stay behind?
We are when you are moving faster than your energy can carry,
then you collapse.
That is what is obtainable now. We are not ready. We are not prepared as a country. You know, elsewhere they don't mob out currency from circulation. They phase this out. You know, phasing out is different from what we are doing. You allow it to run. Once it runs to the bank,
you don't release out.
Even when they said they are changing our currency, they keep on putting that old currency in the ATM, in the public. Even when you go to the counter in the bank, they keep on giving you. And that has. You said you should return something, and you are returning it to us again. You are not ready.
I think the problem started when the commercial banks came out to mention to us that, oh, we don't have enough of the new.
And the CBN came out to say commercial banks refuse to come and collect it from us. You know, at the end,
What?
the CBN came like 3 days ago that they don't have enough paper to print new currency. Somebody at the helms of our affair are telling us lies. Upon lies.
But they said they are traveling abroad to go and bring all of this currency.
They are not bringing anything. They are not bringing anything. As well, see, what we need
now
in public space as currency is not enough. That's the reason why you see our people kill. My wife went to a commercial bank, I don't want to mention name, for money till night.
Looking for money.
And they gave her 1,000 naira, 100 naira notes.
Would that be enough for your time?
A very fearable commercial bank. So that will tell you that they don't even have enough currency to give to their depositors. And you know the implication?
Yes.
The public, they came up that everybody should have a bank account. You mob our money into your fort, and at the end of the day, you don't want to give us back. I was frustrated last week. I have a site somewhere around this place, and there are older men working on my site, and they said, "Okay, please
don't transfer money to us."
Because the one you transfer, we
have not been able to cash it.
So please, just look for cash for us. I said, where do I get it? Old men.
Now the problem is this again, that I have not been able to see it coming out from the CBN itself, but they are mopping up over 3 trillion from circulation.
Okay.
And they are bringing in about 500 billion. I now sit down to look, 3 trillion, 500 billion. Would I be able, the 3 trillion you are mopping up, it's not even enough. Now you are replacing it with just 500 billion naira. How do we juxtapose this?
Because, you see, there is a level of wickedness that you will reach, that you don't care about the public any longer. I think
if you must do that at your corner. Don't come to public spaces.
Oh no. You see, let me tell you this. Let me give you a case study. You know the political side of it. They said because politicians who hoard cash will not be able to use it on election day. And I gave a scenario. If I have 3 billion stocked somewhere, and immediately that one announced that go and change that money, I'll just give 1 billion to some commercial bank manager that just take half of this money, just return the new note to me. I lose nothing. Maybe it's money that I stole somewhere. The reality is those people they want to fight, they are not affected.
Now,
so
if you claim some people are holding this cash somewhere illegally now,
yes,
where are security operatives? Where is the intelligence? Have they not been able to trace it?
That's why I said this current policy is escapist. It's not well thought out, and it's making the other side of it is the legality of what we are doing. It's making CBN look institutionally stupid, because at the end people can praise, there is nothing Nigerians cannot praise, even the worst of policy. You have
some people will benefit from the worst policy.
You have a crowd of people that will always
clap for you.
Say, but the bottom line is, what is the legality of the directive of the CBN? The directive of CBN is a contradiction of Section 2 of Money Laundering Act. Section 2 gave individual to collect as high as 5 million. and you now gave a directive at CBN.
They cannot, as an individual, take more than 20,000 naira.
So those contradictions, you look at it, and now the Supreme Court of our country, the highest level of the court of our land, gave an ex parte order that you cannot implement February 10th deadline.
Okay, I'm going to go to that as well. Yeah.
And the highest bank of our land
says no.
CBN, in flagrant disregard of the Supreme Court directive, gave another directive to the commercial bank as from 10th February, don't accept old currency again.
You know, I almost threw caution to the wind yesterday. I was going for an assignment, and I just branch into a filling station. Give me fuel. And we are holding some old naira notes. And the attendant said, no, we just received instruction from our sister stations that we should stop collecting it. And that the instruction is from the CBN. I said, from which CBN again? If the Supreme Court will advocate that, come, stop this order, and an organ of government is saying no to our supreme instruction, then where are we in the country? Today
is February 15th. And I know Supreme Court will sit on that
today.
Substantial motion today. And let me say it before the directive of before new directive of the Supreme Court will come out, that Godwin Emefiele has overstayed his importance as CBN governor.
She cannot remove him. It's only the president that can do that.
And CBN as a department of the presidency is a lawless department.
Don't say this on here, my brother.
Because once you don't adhere strictly to the law of the land, until that ex parte is upturned by the Supreme Court,
yes,
as a court, the law is they cannot implement that.
Listen.
And once they are implementing it, they become lawless.
I'm not a lawyer. I'm not trying to go back to school. But you are studying law.
Yes.
Now, I know that in law matters, you started from High Court, the Appeal, Court of Appeal, and to the Supreme.
No, when case involve the state government versus the federal government, go to the Supreme Court.
Okay. You go to the Supreme Court.
Yes,
because I wonder why it is from the Supreme Court that this case is coming out from.
This is the case that involves the federal government and the state government.
Okay, fine. That's settles that. But then, I see that we say government should respect the law. And in recent past, if we mention stories, matters like this, that courts will come up with a decision, and government will look other side. Why is a government like that in this country?
You see, that is a state of, Father said something yesterday. Father said, only in Banana Republic will a government will not respect their own institution. There are 3 tiers of government. The executive,
the judiciary.
If you cannot respect your own law,
there's a problem.
There's a problem somewhere. The highest level of our bank is disrespecting the highest court of our land. That is unfortunate. That is not.
I will expect somebody to come and hold a microphone and say, "My dear fellow countrymen."
I'm not expecting that. I'm not expecting that.
Come in a home. As small as our unit could be, a wife and 10 children, making 12 altogether. If there is something that you need to address, I think a father must come out and say, "Oh, can we discuss this?"
On the 3rd of February, the APC governor met with
Mr. President.
And Mr. President gave, give me 7 days.
7 days.
Which coincided with 10th of February directive of the CBN. That I will resolve this. Until now, go to our banks. And you know what Mr. President said? And I replied, President said, I understand the pains Nigerians are facing. I said, Mr. President, you don't understand anything.
If you do
understand that pain, you will not even ask for 7 days. No father will sleep when the children go hungry. You have to go look for money to feed them. The reality of the moment is that this government has shown so much
insensitivity,
so much carelessness against the people of this country.
Oh, thank God for what runs in Nigeria in any way as a people. That it's unlike the goats in the Yoruba parlance. That Toba Lewure, Toba Kogono, Akpojuwe, Ali and to labor. But the goats, the Nigerian goat is not like that. The Nigerian goat is just a kind of goat that will jump over the fence. Will say that maybe the other side will be better.
The public can say that, but the security men in the country cannot say that. They know Nigerians. They know they are making their job extra difficult these days. The government of the country are making security job extra difficult.
Okay.
Go to Lagos. Go to Oyo. Also here is minimal. But they are equally waiting.
Maybe because of the Omoluabi Jane that is drawn in now.
There are people that are equally. I used to visit some area in Osbc banks and see the reaction of people. And I know they are waiting for somebody to trigger this crisis.
No, listen, we don't expect that. Now let's talk to the commercial banks. The SAPC came up about 10-12 days now. That come. Some monies were released to those commercial bank, and this commercial bank will load the ITM with the wrapper on.
Yeah.
Was that not a way to sabotage what CBN is trying to do?
There will always be saboteurs. When
they must continue to live amongst us.
No, they are here. Whether it's an Emefiele, a Buhari, or a bank manager, they are always here with their
plans.
Yes, with their. I don't want to say that. I know what I want to say, but I don't want to say.
Keep it. Let's look at the last.
The bottom line is saboteur will always come. But once you have a foolproof understanding of the policy you want to run, you find the way around the saboteurs. Okay. But unfortunately, they don't have understanding.
All this put together. We have 10 days before the presidential election and the National Assembly election. Come. Now, I just read something this morning where the NNPCPL is saying that, the fuel situation will abate next week. Can we afford to wait? Because INEC said they've not received enough cash to move their materials around the country.
They cannot be able to remove enough cash.
Now, we need fuel into our vehicles to move officers of INEC and all others to where they're going to work. Are we sure we're going to get this done? And I very want, please, Mr. President, don't do anything inimical, because we don't want an interim government. We want this election to hold. I am saying it, you are saying it. So what is the presidency going to do about this? Fuel.
Well, when agency of government promise that they will do something, I don't always
believe it
until it is done. You understand?
They said next week. Today is Wednesday.
INEC equally promised that there is no going back on the 25th of February. I'm not going to be sure
until it happens.
Until that day. Because you remember, there was an election that was cancelled midway to voting. So I don't trust them until we wrap this up and we have a new government.
Can we afford to mess up again in Nigeria?
I'm not sure of the answer to that question. The bottom line is we are messing up already. On the issue of fuel, whether we'll have it or not, I'm not going to be sure. But the scarcity is not as bad as we experience.
Okay. Now your advice, because as a civil society organization person, you must talk to people in power. Do you understand now? As somebody who is an analyst, you must talk to them. But come, let's do it this way. Because we don't want trouble. We want trouble no more in our land. That's the song on our lips.
Nigeria is a nation of troubled souls. But the challenge that we'll have if we don't do that election, we don't organize that election as it's supposed to be, will be child play to the trouble we are facing. Because it will be a constitutional lacuna that our constitution, our electoral law never envisage.
I came to conclusion that Mr. President has 8 years to prepare for this election.
Yeah, he does have 8 years.
It's not a matter of 4 years. He has 8 years.
And he consistently promised that Nigeria, I'm giving you the best of election. You understand? See, when the issue of this policy, the combination of crisis happened, I said, maybe somewhere, you know, in Yoruba land, they call something atubotan. That is posterity. When posterity don't want to be kind to your legacy, you always do the wrong thing. At the end,
can you say this again?
When posterity is not going to be kind to your legacy, you will always do the wrong thing at the end of your tenure.
If I so do I go to a literary compose this morning?
And look at, if care is not taken, the last 1 month will define Buhari presidency. Not on mainland bridge, not Lagos Ibadan expressway, not trader money, not market money, not infrastructure.
But adding over to another substantive.
Because the pain our people experience and still experiencing in the last 1 month is unprecedented in the history of our country. In this history of, not even in the tenure of between 1999 and today. In the history of our
You know one thing I have done? I've told my wife, woman, please relax.
That's it.
Because if you say you want to go and sit down in the bank, you can't imagine. I have a POS person come and give me money. He said I was giving 3,000 naira, and that 3,000 naira I just branched into the market to buy things for my children.
Although it won't have a couple.
The man standing here said, "Oh, you're going to do this today," and I brought out the only 15 naira I have with me. As I'm sitting down here, I don't have any other cash.
And I'm not going to. I'm not going to go to any bank. If anybody don't collect
transfer,
then we are not doing transaction. Because the man hour you are going to waste collecting 3,000 or 2,000 from a bank.
I labor to get this money, and you will not labor to spend it. I was reading a cartoon of a woman whose daughter was crying, and the woman said, "Oh, I know you are hungry. Let's go and buy money before we buy food. We are buying money to buy food."
As it. Somebody said Nigerian naira is appreciated against naira.
Okay.
It's sad. You see, there are things that Nigerians will be crying. And the unfortunate part is we are here to learn any lesson.
You see, comrade, we're going to invite you again. Time is not our friend this morning. But what we say is, somebody will say, let us pray.
I'm not praying.
Now, instances are bad that have these people allowed the previous prayer we heard to be acceptable by God?
No.
Because they are doing so many things inimical to fill these prayers. We hope.
Hope is good.
Hope is good.
Yes.
Let's hang our hope on him. That owns our tomorrow.
Hopefully somebody somewhere, not in Messiah again, somebody somewhere will come into new government and will change things.
Let's go home this morning. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank
to our viewers out there, that's where we're going to have a break now. We'll continue with other segments of the program. Well, thank you for coming around us. We say thank you. My name is Olasukomi. Bye-bye.